All right, it is recording. Hi, everybody. Welcome to T.A.B. Videos. Glad you could stop in this evening. This is pre recorded. Dan's in Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. This discussion is basically, I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to turn it over to Dan. He was at the range day yesterday for Beretta. Shot some, he got out a couple videos already today, or one I know for sure in a short. Fantastic looking firearms. So I'm going to turn it over to him, and he can just talk as long as he wants to. It's all about Beretta. So, Dan, the firearm guy, there you go.
Thanks for having me on. It's always my pleasure to be with you and your audience. But I was at the Beretta Range Day yesterday. It was a very large event. It seemed like the whole Beretta staff was there. It was very well organized, and they picked us up at the Venetian, bust us out to Pro Gun Range, and I've been there before, but the way Beretta had this set up was just so nice. It was so organized, and they had people and guns everywhere. And so we had a little breakfast, and then there were five stations. I made it to three of the five, and the three I made it to were shotgun, precision rifle shooting, and handgun. And I first went to handgun, and man, oh man, was I impressed with especially one of their new releases. The other one wasn't too impressive to me. They have a little uh, 30X or X30 uh, Tomcat, okay, chambered in 32 ACP. And I shot that. It has a real heavy trigger, a very small gun, 32 ACP. With all the other people shooting, you couldn't even tell if you were hitting the target because it was just this little bullet, and everybody else is shooting primarily 9mm. But I shot that. That was okay. I decided not to review it because I didn't fall in love with it. But I did fall in love with the the new one that I put out today, which is the 92 GTS. And what makes that interesting is it has a frame mounted decocker and it has a twin sear. Now, the twin sear was necessary to create the frame mounted decocker, which was highly requested by Beretta fans, but it was like all the other 92 series. It had a Vertex style grip, walnut grip panels, extended magazine release, incredible trigger. It was great and a lot of fun to shoot. And I really truly enjoyed that. I also shot. It was released in November. It has a tungsten gray. Let me take a look here because I don't want to screw this up. Anytime during the day, I could have told you what this is, and for some reason, it's escaping me. But this gun really had my Squallow, Beretta 92 Squallow. The Squallow is a single action only optic ready handgun. And the Squallow's beautiful. And the way they came up with that name, which is obviously an odd name for a handgun, is that because it has a little bit of a darker tungsten gray and Hogue made grips specifically for the Squallow, it looks like a shark. Someone said that this looks like a shark. Well, Beretta didn't want to call it a shark, so they said, "How do you say shark in Italian?" They said squallow. And they said, "You know what? We like that." And I'll tell you, I liked it. It was incredible. Single action only. There were two there. There were three there. One was suppressed. The other one was a standard squallow with a red dot on there. And then the third one was a Langdon tactical squallow. And what they did was they lightened up the trigger even lighter than the single action was out of the Beretta factory, but they also took the red dot and moved it down just a hair, just a little bit. to give it a little more flat eye picture. And so I shot the Langdon Tactical, and man, you always hear people when you talk about Beretta, send that off to Langdon Tactical, and Langdon was there with his wife, and you're able to talk to him and everything. But it was really nice. I think that's the Beretta I really want. And what's really cool is if you look at the top of the slide, it's about this wide, and you say, how can you get a plate on there? Well, the plate they have surrounds that top strap of the slide, and it makes it nice and firm. So I think Beretta did a genius job with that. Then there's the 80X Cheetah. Now the 80X Cheetah has been around a while. I did review the Squallow and the 80X Cheetah. The 80X Cheetah chambered in 380 ACP has a 3.9-inch barrel. It models the 92 series, but it's in 380. It comes with different frame colors. It's a fine shooting handgun. You feel like you're shooting a Beretta 92, but it's in 380. MSRP 999. So it's expensive. The 380 ammo's expensive, but it really does shoot nice. That's a double action, single action. The Squallow is single action, and then the 92 GTS is double single. So if I had to walk away with one of them, I'd choose the Squallow. That single action trigger pull is so nice. I also made it over to precision shooting. This was the first time I shot 338 Lapua. That round is really something. It is huge. I never took much interest in it, but when I had a chance to shoot it, I definitely took advantage of it. I was shocked at how large it is. I actually have a picture, if it's okay to show TAB. I know this is pre-recorded, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But I want to in the long. But that was nice. I was able to stretch out to 1,000 yards. Is it okay to show this? If we can see there, you can see the size of that round. A little blurry,
There you
but
go.
that
Right there.
round is massive. It's huge. And the 338 Lapua kicked you back a bit, but I hit 2 out of 3 from 1,000 yards. I also shot 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor, all those at 1,000 yards. All were suppressed. All was amazing shooting, and I thought that was a lot of fun. And something precision shooting. These were top shelf rifles too. They were amazing. Don't ask me to say the name of them because I don't know. But they were all suppressed. They all reached out to 1,000 yards and much further. But when you shoot in the desert, I did this in Utah. I did this at Gunsight Academy, and I did this. Well, I did a training class, so I shot a lot of precision rifle, but I also shot here. And you shoot upward because you have the mountain there. So they put the targets. They might put 500 on the lower end of the mountain, all the way up to 1,000, which is on the highest plane of. I don't want to say the mountain because you couldn't make it all the way up there, but for 1,000 yards, and that was a ton of fun. And then I went to the shotgun area, and some of those shotguns, if you look at the Beretta site, their shotguns are well over $1,000. You're looking at, on average, 1,500 and even more. And when I shot these, I was very much impressed. I said, these are very smooth shooting shotguns. They had them suppressed as well. But I realized something there. I kind of knew it, but I realized how much I struggle with skeet shooting. I have very little experience shooting trap, and it was a learning curve for me. The guy was very patient with me, teaching me how to do it, but but he was getting a little frustrated with me too. So I had to deal with that, and I tried to learn and take his advice, but I only hit the skeet a few times, and I said, other people are waiting. I'm just going to take my experience and what I learned with it and go with that. But very little experience with it, and I was able to I was able to. Sorry, I just got a phone call. But I was able to learn some things, and maybe next time I could take that knowledge and do a little better, as well as learn up a little bit on my own. That's always important.
Skeet's
So
fun
the
to shoot.
Beretta
I
Range.
used to shoot it all the time. Back back in the 80s, I used to shoot skeet quite a bit.
Did you ever get it where you were pretty darn good at it?
Yeah, yeah, I was popping 20 out of 25. Pretty
That's good.
consistent.
That's
Yeah.
good. Well, I could learn from you then because I did not hit those percentages at all. Nowhere near it. But the shotguns were first class. And so they're expensive. Well, Beretta as a whole is pretty expensive, but they make quality firearms. And so it was a great event. The Beretta people were wonderful. There were a lot of reviewers out there, quite a few. I was very honored to be invited. I think I got invited because, as you know, and as you shot the Beretta APX A1 compact tactical, and my review really took off. I think your review did really well as well. And at that time, we were the only ones that were able to review that gun. They didn't get that out to a lot of people. And so you and I were on the cutting edge of the reviews, anyways. And so that really took off. And then I got my invite, and I certainly wasn't complaining. So they offered breakfast, lunch, and snacks for dinner. They came around with a tray and was offering it to people. So it was a lot of fun. I was able to meet some people in the industry, some people on the reviewer side, and had a very good time. Bussed back, made my way back to the hotel, and it was an overall great experience. Last thing I want to say, I came out early this year specifically for that Beretta event, and I was asked by people outside of the YouTube and the guns. They said, "Was it worth it?" And I said, "Yes, I would do that again because the availability to handle so many Beretta firearms, like these precision rifles, were super nice. Those rifles are thousands of dollars. The optics on them are thousands of dollars. The suppressors on those are thousands of dollars. And that is a lot of fun to be able to do that without even
Hmm.
having to set up, pay for the ammo or anything else. So it wasn't just
Right.
take everything in, but I also wanted to take in what I could, but also enjoy the event, and I did, and it was well worth it.
Well, I
So
don't
that
want
was
to
the
spoil.
Beretta Range
Don't
Day.
want to spoil your one video I seen today, but looked like you had fun nailing them plates.
Yeah, yeah, and people will say on multiple occasions you hear people say the Beretta 92 series is some of the most accurate handguns that you're going to find. And I never doubted that. I've got the 92X Performance. You shot it. It's great, but it's not optic ready. And at that time, optics were just becoming a thing and it wasn't available optic ready. But that one short you and I talked about earlier, when I hit the plate, those were about 12 yards away. And it was sort of like Rider's range distance. And the plates had to be 6 inches, maybe seven. I don't know. I didn't ask.
On a
But
falling plate,
it
they're
was,
usually 6 or 8 inches.
yeah, I don't think they were eight. Maybe they were. I don't know. I'm not trying to say I'm great, but what I am trying to say though is the 92X Performance with a red dot was so nice. So if I had to choose a firearm that I could keep, I would take the Squalo or the 92X Performance Optic Ready. Those are just incredible. Some people don't know this, but the 92X Performance is their top dog. And that is the only Beretta handgun that is constructed of steel throughout the entire handgun, the frame essentially. Most are aluminum. So, uh, yeah, it was. You're right. I did have fun with that. I had fun with the cheetah. I made a short with the cheetah, and I made a full length video with the cheetah, and that was fun. And how often can you just show up and get a first class handgun and use all their ammo and targets already set up? You and I spent 20 minutes just setting up targets and thinking about what we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
it was a great opportunity, and I would come out here early again just to do that. And to top it off, let me know if I'm getting too long winded.
Nope, you're doing good.
Bretta gave us this awesome bag. It's a backpack. All right. It's not a large backpack. It's like a mid-sized backpack, but it's loaded with contents. Three hats, shirt, mats, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I
All
have a
kinds of
very
goodies,
cool
huh?
Beretta. Yeah, a lot of little goodies, little knickknack things that you could use. And this is a Steiner hat. So Beretta owns Steiner Optics. They own Burris Optics. They own Mako and Tika and some others that I can't think of right now. But primarily it's Beretta, but it's also those other companies that I mentioned. So they are one big outfit, and it was a great event.
Beretta makes some nice stuff. They really do. Their guns are pretty nice. The ones I've shot of yours are, anyway.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have been out there with you. Really, I would, but maybe someday.
a lot of walking, I'll tell you that.
I
And
won't
you
be out
go up
there.
a
I
lot
won't
of
be out there
hills.
then. I won't be out there then. I can't do a whole lot of walking with my legs and back, not without crutches.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad the event turned out good for you. Glad you had a good time. How's the weather been, by the way? I know you said it was
Um,
raining there today, but
yeah, it's been very cloudy. It's raining. It's been raining all day, which is a bummer for those who attended the industry range day. I did get invited to the industry range day. I declined. I don't. I don't like the type of setup where you wait in line to shoot 5 or 6 rounds and then that's it. And the cool thing that Beretta did, see, they thought this thing through and through. They had a hot range. So, for example, the pistols, they had a hot range with all their pistols lined up on tables, and they had two guys loading mags, and then the reviewers just shooting. But they also, next to that, had a cold range where there's no live fire, no ammo, nothing. That's specifically for reviewing purposes. That's smart. That is what reviewers want because you can't get anything done with all the gunfire going on around you. You could have 6 people on that pistol range and it's not crowded, targets everywhere, very well spread out, but it's loud. And so to do a review on that range would be very difficult and make for a poor video. But if you go over to the cold range, you could do a much better job. And that's what I did, and as well as many other people. And that was nice. And they had one model of each gun I mentioned over there as well. They also had a couple PX4 Storms
that's nice
and
stuff.
some Langdon, and then some other ones that were already in their line. But they had top shelf optics on there from Steiner and Burris, and they had everything that anyone would want when considering Beretta. And this is a Steiner hat. You might not be able to see that, but
Yeah,
it
I can't
says
really tell.
Steiner. So, yeah, so it's a very nice hat. I got a Beretta hat in there and another one, maybe. Seiko or something. But if I since I have the floor here, can I take a minute and talk about what I'm looking forward to tomorrow at the first day of
Sure, go
shot?
ahead. Yep.
I'm looking forward to a couple things. I always want to see what CZ came out with because that's always something new. And I'm looking forward to seeing any new products that they have to introduce. At TriggerCon, I was able to hold that Shadow 2 compact, and that I when I first got it, or when I first saw it, I should say, I'm like, okay, so it's a little bit of a shorter Shadow 2. Not a big deal. Until I held it and pulled the trigger. That Shadow 2 is awesome, and the compact is awesomer, if that's a word, because it is lighter with an aluminum frame and it's optic ready. I was also able to check out the Dan Wesson DWX models. You hardly hear about those any further because everybody has their single action only handguns. But I'd still like one of those, but it's got to be optic ready. And for some reason, they're dragging their feet on that. I'm looking forward to Diamondback. They're releasing a revolver. I knew this was coming. I didn't know when it was coming, but Diamondback has a very sharp looking stainless steel revolver that I'm going to check out and see, as well as a 1911. Diamondback has a 1911 that's about three grand, so I'm going to take a look at that as well. Also, I need to see my friends at Car Arms. If any of your viewers want an early look at the new double stack 9mm that Car Arms has, I'm the only one that has a video right now. If you want to see the X9 made by Car Arms, it's kind of a cool place to be as a reviewer, wouldn't you agree? But it's
Absolutely.
the only place you could possibly see it at this point. No pictures, no other videos, nothing except for me because they enlisted me as a tester for the model. And they promised me last year that I'll be the first one to review it. So I was able to do that. And I will tell you, Car Arms has a nice X9 coming to the market. I had a pre production model, I did shoot it. It's a pre production model. And what they're doing with that is they are letting the buyer decide if they want the standard car double action trigger or a lighter trigger with a shorter reset. And so they're still working out the details. But another thing that you may not know is that not only will it take the car mags, 10 and 15 round mag, but it will also accept feed, fire, SIG P365 mags, and Springfield Armory Hellcat mags. I've never seen any handgun be that adaptable. And they all come optic ready. So the X9 made by Car Arms should be a big hit at SHOT Show.
When I put this up, I'll put a link to your channel at the bottom. That way they can go over there and find it. I might even find the video for them and put it in the links too. That way they can just go over there and look at it if they're
I'd
interested.
appreciate that because what they're going to see, if they're interested, they're going to see people make 2 and 3 minute videos at the booth with horrible sound. And I'll be doing the same thing, by the way. I'm not going to go crazy on video. But what I was able to do was get on my table, show close-ups of everything, including the new disassemble on the X9 that is so much easier. It does not require the removal of a pin. It is faster, and they now offer a captured recoil spring with a steel guide rod. They always had the steel guide rod, but it was always uncaptured. It's now captured. So they have a lot going on. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Hudson H9 was bought. It was bought by Daniel Defense. They bought the patents, and so that's now a thing.
Oh,
The
okay.
Hudson H9. So they're going to be featuring that, and then just pretty much walk around. I have one appointment and one appointment only That's the first thing in the morning with Mossberg. And then after that, I'm just going to free float around, see what Sig has go. If Sig's there, I didn't even look. Sig has skipped SHOT Show for the last, well, they skipped COVID and they haven't been back since. So I probably won't see Sig. Back in the day, you'd go there and Sig would have the biggest showroom, huge, with lights and music and all kinds of huge screens with Sig Sauer videos going on. But ever since they got that military contract, they haven't been back. And so, as well as some other companies. So, uh, I'm just going to free float. And if something catches my eye, I might put it on video. If not, I won't put it on video. I have to see my friends over at Taurus, see what they have going on, see if Rossi came out with any more revolvers. But that's my plan for tomorrow, and it's a good place to be for all those watching. If you go to SHOT Show and you end up making a lot of appointments, I talking from experience here, and you make a lot of appointments, you are creating a stressful day for yourself. If they're very much important, meaning you have something detailed to discuss with them, okay, I understand that. That's why I'm going to Mossberg. But it is so hard to keep those appointments because you may be downstairs, then you have to go upstairs. Once you get upstairs, you have to find what you're looking for. This takes time. And if you're late, you could show up and somebody else could already have your spot taken. So be careful making appointments, only make them when they're essential and give yourself enough time to get from point A to point B because you think, "Oh, I'll just after this just move right over there." Doesn't always work that way. You go right over there where you think it is and you realize it's not there. You're wondering where is it because it is so large of a space.
I'd be doggone.
So that's my plan.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that you was talking about Taurus. That 10 millimeter you reviewed last week looked like a nice one. That
Yeah,
Taurus
that
10.
one, yeah, TH10. That one really shocked me that they came out with that. I wasn't expecting Taurus to make a 10 millimeter, but they did, and they did it with their TH series, and that's a good move too because it's a hammer fired. It's got the decocker on the thumb safety, and it's polymer frame with 15 round magazines. That's pretty impressive for 10 millimeters. So
Right.
they did a good job with it. I look forward to taking that out and firing it. $530 for that too.
Yeah, that's got my interest up because I'm getting where I really like that 10 millimeter. I really do. I used to not like. I had a Glock 23 and a 40, and I just never cared for that 40 caliber bullet or the cartridge. It just seemed like the recoil hurt my hand. Now I'm not being a wimp or anything, but with arthritic hands, sometimes you run into those critters. But the 10 millimeter don't seem like it rocks my hand like that 40 does. I
Well,
don't
you're
know
also
why.
shooting with larger guns. Your two 10 millimeters are full size, and that
Right.
certainly helps.
Right.
As well as the Taurus is. Taurus has a 4.25 inch barrel, 15 round magazines. It's not optic ready, but for $530, if it runs fine, comes with two mags and a hard case, should be pretty decent.
Well, I've seen other
But I'm
guys
really
shooting
looking.
the TH series in 9 millimeter, and they seem to be happy with them. Ones I've seen on them.
I've heard mixed reviews from people, which is normal, but especially with the TH9 series. I had a TH9 and I really didn't like it too much. I got rid of it rather quickly, but I like the GX4 models and the G3 models, especially that G3 tactical. That thing is great.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, we're almost at 30 minutes here, so I think we will shut this thing off. Unless you have any more to add, Dan.
No, I just appreciate being on your channel, being in front of your viewers, and have the opportunity to talk about my wonderful experience with Beretta. And I will be attending SHOT Show for 1 day and 1 day only. And then after that, I'll be heading back. So I plan to make the best of it. And it just gave me a chance to discuss things with you and your viewers. And I look forward to hearing their feedback.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification. Of course, comments are always welcome. Thanks for watching. God bless America and our armed forces, past and present.